what's up, you guys? It's your favorite tree, Nappy Tree. My name is Moon. Welcome back to my channel. Why did I name my first work Existence? And honestly, every single piece in here contributed to me existing long enough to want to live. It's maybe 11 years of material, maybe more than that. And a good chunk of that was spent in a very low state. But I was still living life and, of course, feeling things and needing to express those things. So poetry saved my life. And this is my first work, and of course I love that like you guys resonate with my work. Okay, the lighting isn't the best, but I've played with this lighting so many times I don't even want to deal with it anymore. Yeah, let's just get right into it. I'll read the back first. This is hard, like reading my stuff on camera for the first time. Pry me open, gently. Smell the flowers I've planted here. Appreciate how tall my trees are, how soft my leaves are. Pick your favorite spot and rest. I've made a home out of my war zone and would love it if you could stay a while. Pry me open gently, smell the flowers I've planted here. This is really just telling someone to treat me preciously and, you know, lay out a blanket and just rest in me for a little bit, get to know the peace I've cultivated for myself, spend some time the substance of me, all the pieces of me, all the rooms in here, all the landscapes, all the things that you can sift through and get to know, all the unopened boxes, the taped up boxes, the neglected boxes, the locked up boxes, the smashed boxes. Like, get to know what's inside of all of them. And that's essentially what is in here, you know. Mull it over, stay a while, grab your tea, and let's get to know each other for a little bit. Oh, I'm so nervous. Existence, a collection of poetry by Moon Johnson. I actually just go by Moon now. So if you grabbed one of my books, then you have some collector's items because I am dropping my last name. Should I read my dedication? Yeah, I'll read my dedication. First book ever, dedicated to my mom. Okay, dear Mom. I wouldn't be on earth if it weren't for your existence, and I wouldn't have made it past 16 years old if it weren't for your love. Thank you for giving me life. Thank you for saving my life, and thank you for being such an amazing role model. Existence couldn't be possible without you. So with this dedication, I celebrate you as both my mother and my hero. All my love, Moon. P.S. Happy birthday. So I published this book on her birthday. She struggled with thinking that she is like stumbling along and like not being a very good mom, and she truly is the most amazing mom that anybody could have. We all have our flaws, but she is absolutely everything to me, and I love her so much, and this book really wouldn't exist without my mom. So shout out to Mom. Could I be any more cliche than this? Prologue. Poetry. Bits of existence broken into language. An abstract form of self-portrait. My poetry is definitely a self-portrait. It makes up all the pieces of me. What more does love ask of us other than to be expressed? This kind of came from me realizing that I want like to be defined as love. Every time I step outside, I want to make sure that I'm projecting love. So yeah, what more does love ask of us other than to be expressed? Kind of came from that. You know, every time I walk out of this door, every time I'm texting somebody, or every time I'm making art or cooking or breathing, I want to be love. Next one. I saw an eternity in his eyes, and suddenly I was overwhelmed with the urge to slit his throat. Oh, okay, bitch. I saw an eternity in his eyes, and suddenly I was overwhelmed with the urge to slit his throat. I'd miss him too much. I kissed him instead, took a bite out of the risk, and swallowed. This is also about love. I saw eternity in his eyes, and suddenly I was overwhelmed with the urge to slit his throat. The person that had my affections at the moment, I realized that I saw a future with them, and I immediately just wanted to kill them off in my head. Like, I wanted nothing to do with them. I wanted to run away. But I'm dramatic, so I talk about murdering them in this. Anyways, then I say I'd miss him too much. I kissed him instead, took a bite out of the risk, and swallowed. That was me realizing that I was tired of my own shenanigans and I deserved to experience love. Kissing his skin feels like an act of rebellion, blackness, normality. I entangle myself within his kinks, not as a revolutionary statement, but because I lay my head here. His soul is the home my ancestors entrusted to me. So this is talking about Black love. Kissing his skin feels like an act of rebellion, blackness, normality. The fact that Black love feels like rebellion, that's normal for Black people. It's normal for my people to feel like just living is an act of rebellion, to feel like daring to live a good life. It's a political statement, and unfortunately, with the hand that we've been dealt as Black people in America, we're made to be pawns, and our oppression is designed to fuel a systemic cycle, and it's sad, but that's what this is talking about. I entangle myself within his kinks, not as a revolutionary statement. So this is me taking my power back and going, hey, like, just because I've been dealt this card doesn't necessarily mean I have to define myself by an environment that I was born into. I entangle myself within his kinks, not as a revolutionary statement, but because I lay my head here. Because I lay my head here. His soul is the home my ancestors entrusted to me. So my ancestors go way back, and I have ancestors that we were never slaves. That's how I define myself, as free. And I needed to make a statement that my Black love, it's not a revolutionary statement. It's me daring to just live. And I don't want it to be anywhere near that. Violate my space, my face, like the steam from a cup of tea. Consume me, perfume me in the scent of your affection. I am a super affectionate person. Someone once told me that I was a bottomless pit when it came to affection, and they were right. Violate my space, my face, like the steam from a cup of tea. And then I get deeper. Consume me, perfume me in the scent of your affection. So steam, of course, like when you're sipping your tea, it's gonna get all up in your face, all up in your pores. But to perfume you in the scent, like cling to me, like seep into my skin, seep into my body, get just that close. That's how I am. My family is super affectionate. That's how we show love. So that's how I show love, and that's how I receive love. I'm a really, really affectionate person. I like to be touched. So yeah, that's what this was about. I'm only on number 5. There's definitely gonna have to be like a part 2 and a part 3. The soul's orgasms last longer, appeal to her first. So there are a lot of different labels for sexuality these days, which I'm happy about, because people are finding more language to feel comfortable with as it pertains to who they are. And I think it's important sometimes to have language, especially if you want to understand yourself or be able to explain yourself to other people or be able to embody something. It's important to have language around it. I'm one of those people that don't necessarily need language for everything. I kind of just go with it, go with the flow. I just kind of know myself. But it is nice to have language, especially when there are times where you just really want to be understood and people just don't. Like, they're just like, I've never heard of that before, you're awkward. But if you have a word for it, then they feel like they have something to grasp or have something to research or have something to talk about with someone else or whatever. So yeah. Anyways, the soul's orgasm lasts longer, appeal to her first. I don't experience sexual attraction to physical attributes. I do not see attractive people as sexually attractive. Nothing happens to me just because someone is fine or just because I see them as attractive. I don't experience attraction that way. I experience attraction when you stimulate my other senses. Outer is kind of just a fact for me. Like literally, I was looking at my ring light. Outer is kind of just a fact. Like what this book looks like, it's just a fact. I don't really, it's like, okay. Then you open it and you resonate with the pages. The substance, that's what arouses me, is the vibe and the connection to the work, not what it looks like. Next one, love me like a tree. Wind, rain, snow, sleep, stay. This one is toxic, but this one was a feeling, very true feeling. Like when you go through a heartbreak or a breakup and you get that feeling like, why won't anyone stay? Like, what's going on? Like, why can't I have feelings? Why can't I go through something traumatic? Why can't I be a little irrational and someone love me enough to want to support me through that versus just leaving. But if it's more conducive to you and your relationship with self to leave me, then please do. This is just poetry. This is telling the real truth, and this was the truth. I wanted stability, and that's what this represented for me. Stability no matter what I was going through, and that's why I go through all the different types of weather, because as humans in this physical body on this physical plane, we are going to go through different types of weather, and I want to be loved through them all. And I was at a really low moment of feeling like I knew how to love people through them all, but they couldn't do the same for me. And that was true because I was picking those types of people. But that's another conversation for another day. One of my favorites. Short, sweet, powerful. Everything makes sense in her presence. Silence becomes poetry in the space she occupies. Her face is the shape of a future I can't unwant. Everything makes sense in her presence. This is delusional, but this is really just talking about like, hey, you know, you're going through life and then all of a sudden this person comes in and now life wouldn't make sense without that person. You know, this is what you see for yourself now. So there's that. Silence becomes poetry in the space she occupies. Okay, so I decided to do a voiceover because I didn't like the way I explained this part, but I'm basically just saying that her existence is poetry. Her silently existing is poetry, and she improves upon my solitude just by being there. She doesn't have to entertain me or anything. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. And sorry for the low energy. I'm super sick right now, but I decided to do this anyway because it's fun and I love you guys. So yeah, enjoy. Her face is the shape of a future I can't unwant. I don't want anyone else's face waking up next to me in bed. I don't want anyone else's face reacting to my naked body dancing in the kitchen. I don't want anyone else's face getting close to mine in the shower or in between my legs. I see this person in my future and I want them, and I want this specific future that I've already written out. I was definitely falling in love, and this is what came of it. My laughter often speckled across her chest, freckled flesh. She wore my joy on her skin so soft, my lips so close, so gently, kissing her collarbone, burying my face into her neck, into the smell of sage, coconuts, and the rest of our little eternity if forever had a scent. This is talking about an afternoon just laying up, but I'm explaining like a beautiful moment in bed, a beautiful afternoon, and I'm personifying what our forever would smell like. What would be our home scent? You know, what would be that new scent that would make up our body heat, just reflecting off of each other because we're always next to each other. Like, if forever had a smell, that's what we would smell like. This is an idealistic way to think, but again, I was very much falling in love and you can feel it. I'm a very passionate person and it gets really intense sometimes. So being able to articulate it through the visuals and the pictures that I can paint with words and connotations is really amazing. My throat. We'll wait. We'll wait. I'm so weak. Okay, I'll get better at this. I'll get better at like being on camera. But until then, you get this one. The mysteries of our world intrigue me just as much as all the rooms of your mind. I'd invite you into mine, but you're already occupying space there. I hide my fascination behind a smile we both pretend is platonic. I think I love you. You feel particularly infinite. There goes that forever word again. Yeah, this is about the same person. I fell in love with her, but we were just friends. Anyways, I'll go through. Okay. The mysteries of our world intrigue me just as much as all the rooms of your mind. So the mysteries of our world, as in our world, like what is gonna happen in this world that we've been creating with each other. And I want to know so much more about you and like what goes on in your head. I'd invite you into mine, but you're already occupying space there. So that's me trying to be clever and going like, I don't really need to invite you. I had no control over this. You're already there. I hide my fascination behind a smile we both pretend is platonic. So this is before either of us told each other that we liked each other or that we had feelings for each other, that it was like gonna be anything more than a platonic friendship. And I kind of called them out in this, like, we both know. We both know how I feel about you. You feel particularly infinite. I say particularly because it's a very specific type of infinite. Like, I don't just want you to be my friend. I want you to be more than that. Okay. The point is to find a love who doesn't suffocate you and to drown in them. A love that will burn your demons only to birth angels from ashes. A love true enough to sail forever on. A love true enough to sail to forever on. Hey y'all, I'm back. I didn't like the way that I explained this explanation either. But with this one, I'm really just talking about how when I'm completely in love with somebody, in adoration with somebody, completely infatuated with somebody, I want to be consumed by them. I want to drown in them. I want to just stay warm under them as a blanket. And when you're getting that type of love and smothering from somebody you don't really like, it's smothering, it's suffocating, it's extremely, extremely unpleasant, and you're just like, ew, get away. But the point is to find someone that you actually want to be smothered by, you know? So yeah, that's what I was talking about. Okay, bye. A love that will burn your demons only to birth angels from ashes. So this is at a time that I actually thought demons were a bad thing. I no longer think that. But it's really just saying like a love that isn't fazed by your flaws and the skeletons in your closet and the things that are really hurting you or neglected in you or festering in you that cause you to make some poor decisions or that cause you to react in certain negative ways. This is saying that this love will burn all that to bits and birth angels from ashes, meaning it'll help you heal from it and you'll see beauty come of it. You know, this is a love that will help you bring about that beauty for yourself versus being scared off by like the bad things or the dark things. A love true enough to sell to forever on. A love that's really true and like really for you. Yeah. Oh man, this is a long one, but here we go. He doesn't pet me like a zoo animal. His admiration isn't soaking with ignorance, and I'm not a circus freak when I go a week without washing my hair. He caresses these tendrils, takes naps in these naps, remembers to tie my bonnet a little tighter before back shots, black shots. His kisses taste of Hennessy, translated to honey on my lips. My hips sway to the rhythm of his understanding. He doesn't just look at me, he sees me. With generations of shared pride, struggle, and culture dripping from his gaze. Our love is power. A black love as strong as our roots, pouring out of our pores like liquid gold, puddling at our ankles like the broken chains of our ancestors. We dance in each other, unapologetically, splattering the roads we walk in shades of freedom and hues of excellence. So this is literally just talking about how Black love is a safe space. This is talking about just how safe that space is. He doesn't pet me like a zoo animal. His admiration isn't soaking with ignorance, and I'm not a circus freak when I go a week without washing my hair. So we've talked about it so many times. I get tired of talking about it. I get tired of talking about the same thing, but sometimes you have to vent because the same thing is still happening. People are still trying to pet me like a zoo animal because my hair, oh my gosh, look at your hair. And like, I get it, right? When I go somewhere and I see something fuzzy, I just want to touch it. Or something that looks soft, I just want to touch it. Something that looks spiky, I just want to touch it. Why? Because it looks different from like just normal surfaces. So I'm like, ooh, touch, touch, touch. But y'all have to understand that I'm a person, not an object. We are people, not objects, not pets, not animals. To just go, ooh, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all. So don't do it. His admiration isn't soaking with ignorance, and I'm not a circus freak when I go a week without washing my hair. It feels safe. I'm not a gimmick or a fad or a trend. You know, I come home to a man who doesn't treat me like a gimmick, a fad, or a trend. He caresses these tendrils, takes naps in these naps, remembers to tie my bonnet a little tighter before back shots, black shots. His kisses taste of Hennessy, translated to honey on my lips. Okay. He caresses these tendrils, takes naps in these naps. Yes. Yes. He be having his hands all up and through my hair. He be sleeping all up and through my hair. It's a beautiful, wonderful experience. Remembers to tie my bonnet a little tighter before back shots. I want to still feel sexy in my bonnet. And I do, but I want my partner to feel the same way. And that's on period. I want my lover to feel the same way. I want us both to be wearing bonnets. Or you have your do-rag on. Or I have a do-rag on that night. Shit, we don't know what style I'm trying to protect. And I don't have to explain. I don't have to worry. That's just unreal. Like, I don't want to have to explain this. I just don't. I don't mind the attention. I don't mind getting attention. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm attractive. I have an energy about me that you feel before you see me or talk to me. I'm used to the attention, but that type of attention where it's like being examined in your relationship in that way. I want you to examine me, of course, like get to know me, study me. I think that's beautiful, but to be examined and put on display, my Black culture, my Black whatever, my Blackness, to be put on display for that, because we were put on display as zoo animals, it's just something that doesn't sit well with me. Remember some time I bonded a little tighter before back shots, black shots, his kisses taste of Hennessy, translated to honey on my lips. That's me talking about our culture. Hennessy was the drink. We like dark liquor. As a stereotype, we just do. I know I do. Like, he tastes so good to me. My hips sway to the rhythm of his understanding. He doesn't look at me, he sees me with generations of shared pride, struggle, and culture dripping from his gaze. My hips sway to the rhythm of his understanding. I want to be understood as a Black woman in my relationship. I want to be understood as a Black woman in my relationship. I want to be understood. I don't want to just be accepted. I want to be understood. I dance to the fact that he understands me. I submit to the fact that he understands me. Like, I soak that shit up. I feel warm under the blanket of his understanding. Like, yes, understand me as a Black woman. Don't make me, I already have to deal with the world and their, I don't want to have to deal with that in my relationship. I don't want to have to come home to that. I just don't. No. He sees me with generations of shared pride, struggle, and culture dripping from his gaze. I'm not having to teach him anything, and he's not having to teach me anything. We're here. It's a connection. It's a conversation to connect, not to teach. Our love is power. A Black love as strong as our roots, pouring out of our pores like liquid gold, puddling at our ankles like the broken chains of our ancestors. It's the visual for me, honey. Our love is power. A Black love as strong as our roots, pouring out of our pores like liquid gold, puddling at our ankles like the broken chains of our ancestors. Puddling at our ankles like broken chains. The visual. Our Black love is liberating. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Our Black love is liberating. We dance in each other unapologetically, splattering the roads we walk in shades of freedom and hues of excellence. They are my safe space. Now, this says he, right? Because this was written about the Black man that I was with. I've always liked both, but this is old, and it was definitely written with somebody in mind. I was very much in love with him, and we were both very political and very loud and very prideful, and I loved it. He was a safe space. He was, until he wasn't. But he was a safe space. Oh, this is one of my favorite poems. You know what? I'm gonna leave it at that. That was good to end on Black love. It's also page 11, which is 2. I think I'm gonna stop there. That was a good one. Now we're getting into the section where it takes a turn. Like, oop, something must have happened. So we're gonna stop there. That was part 1. We'll do the next section next time.